Microsoft says it has found evidence foreign entities are working to meddle in the 2020 election. In a blog post Thursday, Microsoft's vice president in charge of customer security and trust said the company has, quote, detected cyber attacks targeting people and organizations involved in the upcoming presidential election, including unsuccessful attacks on people associated with both the Trump and Biden campaigns. Last month, the intelligence community announced it believes foreign entities are looking to undermine the election process. And according to the tech giant, these reports are true. Microsoft says the same Russian hackers who infiltrated the Democratic National Committee in 2016 have attempted to attack 200-plus political organizations involved in the 2020 election. The tech giant also stated Chinese hackers are targeting, quote, high-profile individuals associated with the election, including people affiliated with the Biden campaign. In addition, Microsoft has found evidence an Iranian-backed group has gone after the personal accounts of people involved in the Trump campaign. CNET senior producer Dan Patterson joins me now. Hi, Dan. Great to see you. So how did Microsoft detect and identify these attacks?
Good to see you too, Tanya. So I spoke with a number of people inside Microsoft, and we've also taken a look at their report and the information that they've released. And they're a little opaque about the detection tactics. They said that it was the security tools that are kind of built into their products, and those include Microsoft 365. They have a tool called Election Security Advisors and another one called Account Guard. One of the reasons they're opaque is that like any type of intelligence or military operation, once you reveal your tactics, tools, and techniques, they can be mimicked and evaded. So we probably can get a pretty good idea looking at history. In 2016, one of these groups, the APT28 group, used tools hosted on Microsoft Azure servers, as well as other companies, Google and others, to host phishing websites. Phishing is when you are sent an email and maybe a link or prompt to enter your username and password on a site that looks legit but isn't. So it's a simple tactic, but we know that APT28 deployed it very successfully using these cloud-based tools in 2016. So we can kind of get a hint at what they did, given that this is an effective technique, but it's still pretty opaque, these specific particulars.
And Dan, what exactly is Microsoft's role in election security? I mean, they are a private company. What is their stated role here?
Well, like every tech company, they were many of the tools that they use, that they create, were exploited by people who were attacking our election in 2016. So, Google, Facebook, Twitter, and others all responded, including Microsoft, in different ways. Microsoft created a number of election security guards. In fact, one is called Election Guard or Election Security Guard. But they also built in better two-factor authentication. This is kind of a second password that's given to you or provided to sent by text message or as a token to email accounts, because, again, phishing is a really effective technique. It's effective because if I can get into your accounts, I can see who you communicate with, I can see how you communicate, probably you store sensitive information in there, and you become a gateway to everybody else in your organization and connected with your organization. So just getting into like Google Docs or Office 365 sounds kind of mundane, but it's a really valuable target.
So we found, Dan, from, we know who some of the targets of these attacks were, but do we know what, if anything, the hackers were able to access?
We don't know a whole lot about what they've been able to get right now, but we do know that both campaigns were targeted, the Biden campaign and their associates, as well as the Trump campaign and their associates. Again, I say associates because you can be a gateway to everyone else in your social or professional networks. So we know that not just Russia and China were active here. It looks as though one of the most notorious Iranian hacking groups was also involved. And that's kind of because in 2016, Russia showed what was possible. That brought the other large international players to the scene. There is kind of a cyber war that's happening all the time between all major countries, but it demonstrated what's possible. So the attacks that we're seeing now, again, it's really opaque, the details, but they were kind of expected. And I think that the security researchers involved in finding these attacks were able to get a sense of what to look for based on what Russia did in 2016.
Right. Well, this cyber media war, as you discuss, is playing out in all of our inboxes, all of our social media feeds. It's really scary. So Dan Patterson, thank you so much for keeping on top of it for us.
Great to see you, Tanya.